Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we are talking about kitchen trends that are amazing, that are great, that are gorgeous, that are beautiful, that are LeChic approved, and we have got a number of these to get through. So let's get into the video. Now, the first kitchen trend we are talking about that is gorgeous and definitely timeless classic is a ceiling detail. I talk about ceilings all of the time because I feel so passionately about them. That is the fifth wall. It's the most unused space in your home, and taking advantage of that in a kitchen is a great idea. Look at paneling or maybe adding a faux beam of some sort. I love coffering. That's so gorgeous. A ceiling is definitely a great place to take advantage of and do something interesting or unique, and that doesn't have to be painting it a dark color. Light blue ceilings are so gorgeous and we love them, and the same thing goes for a ceiling with some paneling or molding. You can do that and paint it white. It's still visually interesting, and a ceiling is a great place to add a lot of character to your home, especially in a kitchen. Now, the next kitchen trend that I actually think is really great within reason is the arched doorway. And I'm not talking about an archway, you know, like just an open doorway. I'm talking about those arches on the top of the doorway. Let's just clarify that because I'm a little bit confused on it myself, but that's fine. I like this because it is an interesting detail to add to a home, and I think it's really beautiful. I would say be cautious of this trend depending on the style of your home, because an arched top doorway does not fit every architectural style of a home. So I think it's worth considering whether that's right for your space or not. I don't think there's anything wrong with not having an arched doorway, like a square opening is fine. You can add molding. It's a good way to transition paint colors, but an arched top doorway can be added to a space that I think is beautiful. I would say steer clear of anything involving cabinetry and arches because that is a little taste specific and very difficult and expensive to change later on. You know, we're talking about those kind of cabinets, you know, the old vintage style ones. We're a little bit over right now that have that country kind of a feel. Right now we're looking at things that are a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more simple, but adding an arched doorway to your space can be a good way to add a feature in if that's what you're after. Now, the next kitchen trend, and probably my favorite on this list that I love, is the built-in china cabinet. I adore this. I love it so much, and I am seeing a huge return to people embracing china patterns and living glamorously, and I love that. And I think no matter what your style is, you can take advantage of this. If you have a more rustic style or you like something that's super minimalistic and modern, these built-in china cabinets are gorgeous. So it's typically just a glass-fronted cabinet that's either floor to ceiling, that is the entire height of your cabinets, or sometimes they're just built in on top of a countertop. I think it's great because you can display some of your beautiful pieces. You can also have these made that are a little bit thinner. A standard upper cabinet depth is 12 inches, and if you're standing plates up, you can shrink that even more to like 6 inches. So if you have an awkward recessed space in your kitchen, this is a good place to take advantage of that. You can install it, have your things displayed, add some more storage, which I think is fabulous. I'm also seeing people going back to the kind of china room or butler's pantry style space that has like all sorts of china patterns displayed. Oh, I love that. I love it for me. I love it for you. I love it for everyone because I think that's such an elegant and tasteful way to display your things. Even if you're not into a super traditional china pattern, if you like really custom handmade pieces of porcelain that are really beautiful, it's a great way to display them. I think it's fabulous. I think it's gorgeous. I love a feature like that in a kitchen. That's not something I think you want to DIY, and if you are going to have this installed in your home, just remember you're going to have to clean that glass. Decide if it's worth it or not for you, because not every item needs to be high maintenance in a home. You just have to be prepared to make the sacrifice to have that specific piece. The next kitchen trend that I think is amazing and I really am loving right now is the two-toned slab cut backsplash countertop. This is interesting because it's a great way to layer two different materials together. I'm seeing this with maybe quartz and a slab cut stone like marble or even a ceramic marble option. I think these look really good because you're layering different colors together and still get a very elegant, very polished and luxurious look and feel. You can also take advantage of one element being a little bit more of an investment and one being more affordable and save on your budget. This is also something great if you went for the quartz countertops and you're like, but I want something interesting, I want some marble, I want some natural stone. added on the backsplash. I think it's fabulous. I'm seeing this often with a gray, a brown, or even a cream countertop with a marble-like surface on the backsplash. I think that is so beautiful because I love marble, and when you are standing looking at it, you see your backsplash. You don't see the countertop necessarily as much. So taking advantage of the backsplash and having the biggest feature element be there is great. I am a person that also is fine with seeing some aging on marble. I think that's a part of the beauty of it, but not everybody likes that. You want the look, but not the sacrifice. This is a great way to get that. You get the natural elements, the beautiful veining of a stone, and it doesn't have to be marble. It could be anything you want it to be, but you get that on the backsplash without having to worry about the maintenance of the countertop. And if you are not already familiar with this channel, I talk a lot about maintenance of a home because we live in real houses. That is a thing that happens to all of us. So if you are not already, please take a moment and hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification to get notified every time I upload. Join the LeChic fam, and after you have done so, please let me know in the comment section down below so that I can personally welcome you to the channel. Now, the next kitchen trend that I personally love, I adore, I think is so gorgeous is lacquer. I love a lacquered cabinet. However, there is a lot to consider with this trend. It is something that really lives in the traditional realm of design. I think it can definitely dip over into the more modern contemporary style design. You could actually do a high gloss wood finish on a cabinet to achieve a little bit of that lacquered effect. But what I am talking about is like the rich, the bold color schemes in kitchens, and they're lacquered. They have a high gloss finish. I think that is gorgeous. I see this with a lot of blues and deep burgundy reds. Beautiful, beautiful finishes on these cabinets. However, lacquer is easily scuffed and scratched, and it also shows fingerprints and grease marks, so it is something to consider if it's right for you. Lacquer is also a reflective surface, so if you have that kind of inset interior kitchen that does not get a lot of light, lacquering can actually add that into the space for you. So it's something to consider. It's worth looking at if you like it. I personally love seeing the photos on social media, but I don't know that it's something I would actually do in my kitchen because I'm not prepared for the maintenance of taking care of that. Something worth considering because it's beautiful, but it might be a little bit too high maintenance for you. The next kitchen trend that I think is so beautiful, I think is really amazing, is actually the T-shaped island. Now, this is not really a T shape, I guess. I mean, it kind of sort of is, but it usually is an asymmetric island with seating on 3 sides. This can be a really great way to add a little bit of that asymmetry into a space if you have a lot of perfect symmetry happening. It can be nice to mix it up a little bit because it feels a little bit more contemporary and modern and current as opposed to a traditional island where you have everyone across from you. But you might not have that space in your kitchen to actually do this, so it's something to think about. The T-shaped island is great because it has a very substantial feel to it, and it's also very sleek. You usually have a central support that people sit around that supports the countertop. We tend to see this with a very thick finish on the actual edging on the countertop and the support. So think about that, you know, having like a 2 to 3 inch edge on a countertop is gorgeous and very substantial feeling. It feels very weighty and beautiful. I like that in any and every style of kitchen. I think it's gorgeous. But you might not be like, I want the modern island with the more traditional kitchen. So think about the style of the space and the materials you're using, because this can also be really beautiful in all stone and slab cut stone or in exotic woods. I think it's beautiful. It does tend to be a bit of an investment to undertake this, but it is something so gorgeous that makes a big impact in a kitchen. The next kitchen trend that I'm really loving right now is recessed storage. So a lot of older homes or homes that have undergone a lot of renovation have these kind of plumbing stacks that'll be in the wall, or they're not really in the wall, they kind of project into the room a little bit. So you have this awkward situation in a kitchen to have cabinetry put around, and it's kind of like a column and next to a wall. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So what people are doing is building out the wall to meet that, so your cabinetry is completely flush and you don't have some weird object in the middle of everything, but they're also taking advantage of the extra depth they have gained. A lot of people are also just making their walls thicker so they have more windowsill or ledge to put items on. I think that is such a creative idea and a unique use of space. Now, the next trend that I really like is actually the industrial inspiration. We see these kind of chef's kitchens that have all of the fancy woodworking and appliances and this and that and everything, but that's not really how a chef operates. Kitchens are very industrial. They're really stainless steel and tile floors, and you can hose everything down, and that's great. People are drawing inspiration from those actual kitchens that are in restaurants and in culinary places because you get a lot of functionality from that style. I think that's fantastic, and it's something to consider if it's right for your kitchen or not. Some of the inspiration from this is open storage and stainless steel, more industrial and rigid surfaces like concrete. Concrete countertops are great, and they have a lot of that industrial feel to them. This is something unique. It's worth looking into to decide if that's right for your kitchen or not. Looking at a more commercialized space can be a little bit cold, a little bit sterile, but there is a lot of functionality to that. Maybe you don't have all the bells and whistles, but it's something worth considering. Would some of these elements improve the functionality of your space? And that might just mean hanging your pots and pans on a wall where you can see them. That might mean embracing the stainless steel appliances, and instead of getting the fancy finished appliances, you just get a little bit better quality ones or something like that. It's worth looking into and deciding if that is right for you in your space. If you like that really like chef style restaurant quality kitchen, I think it's gorgeous. I think it's beautiful. It's definitely unique and not something we see super often. The next trend that I really love and I am seeing in kitchens is actually the checkerboard floor. I love a black and white marble floor. I think it's gorgeous and so beautiful. It doesn't even have to be marble necessarily. I just love a checkerboard floor moment. We see this often in entryways, you know, in a foyer or even in like a mudroom situation. People like functionality, and tile often gives them that in an entryway or a space like that. But we've gotten to a point now where a lot of us live in cities where we're not living on farms where the entry is gonna get really dirty or messy. So people are going for wood flooring in those areas, which is great, but sometimes you want a little bit of something different, interesting, and in a kitchen space, that's a prime place to take advantage of having tile floors because you're cooking, it gets messy, whatever. I am seeing people put checkerboard floors in their kitchens, and I love that. I think it's beautiful, but I would also say challenge yourself if you like this. Don't just think I have to have black and white. You could do gray and white. You could do cream and white. You could do gray and cream. That could be really interesting. I love that. I think it's unique. I think it's interesting. And having a little bit more of a subtle color scheme happening can be very elevated. It's definitely worth considering and looking into if you are looking to redo the floors in your kitchen and want something that's a little bit more elevated. The next kitchen trend that I personally really love, I think is darling and sweet and charming and cute, are curtains on the cabinetry. Kind of like when you don't have cabinetry doors and you can have that beautiful little curtain there. I think that's really pretty and a great way to break up your kitchen if you have a lot of cabinetry happening, because you can add a soft, a delicate feature with a pattern, with a detail, with a gorgeous texture to it, unique trims, all of that. I think it's really beautiful. For me, it wouldn't work in my house because my dogs would not stay out of it. You all know that. Albert, Linus, Cornelius would be digging through it, getting into every and anything in there. So probably not gonna happen. But if you actually had a built-in dog bed feature in your home, you could add a curtain on it, and so when you are having a party or entertaining, you have guests over, you can just pull the little door there and it's closed. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. That's also a great way to break up a lot of cabinetry, like I said. If you've got a particularly large kitchen, I'm jealous, but I think it's also nice to mix it up a little bit, and maybe you don't want to do a two-toned kitchen or some different sort of cabinetry. You want to embrace a little bit more of a rustic or country feel to the space. Having this little curtain put there, gorgeous, fabulous. I love it. It's fantastic. And it's a really cute little decorative detail. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below and share with me what is one kitchen trend you are seeing right now. Maybe it's in your real life. Maybe you put it into your kitchen. It's on social media. I don't know, because I want you to share with me so that I can find out and I can hear from you. Be sure you give this video a like, and I also know that you know someone that they are redoing their kitchen and she's gonna invite you over to come over and cook and do this and do that, and you're not doing it in an ugly kitchen. I don't like my friends that much, and I don't think you do either. Share this video with them, because friends help friends, and I will see you in the next one.